Hi, this is Bob Rubart from the Oracle Technology Network, and I'm here at Oracle Open World 2013. I'm with Oracle ace Ed Whalen and Michael New. These two gentlemen have endured one of humankind's most trying relationships. They wrote a book together, and neither one of them is in jail. So, Michael, Ed, thanks for spending time here to talk to me. Michael, tell me about the book.
Okay, this is it. Oracle Enterprise Manager 12c Cloud Control Deep Dive. The book is divided into three parts. The first is on installing and configuring Enterprise Manager. The other two parts, which are the main focus of the book, are on using the product. The second part really is specifically designed for DBAs, storage admins, sysadmins, middleware admins to take advantage of the latest features of this product. And the third part is on some notable management packs, including Oracle VM and Lifecycle Management Pack.
Okay, so Ed, what parts did Michael leave out?
I think you pretty much covered it. That we focus a lot on usability, using the product, how to really take advantage of it. I wrote some sections on Ash Analytics, which is a really awesome piece of monitoring the Oracle database, Oracle VM management, the extensibility of the agents, the extensibility of the product, how to keep it up to date, as well as extending it to support new things that aren't necessarily in the product. Like, for example, they have a really awesome add-on pack for monitoring Oracle Golden Gate, and that's one of my favorite packs, in that you can actually look at the various processes, look at lags, and look at the various components of Oracle Golden Gate and see how things are performing. And of course, anything that you can look at in Oracle Enterprise Manager, you can get an alert on. So it really gives the DBA and the Golden Gate administrator, the Data Guard administrator, the storage administrator, this really rich set of tools to not only view their system, monitor their system, but get alerts if anything bad is happening.
Now, in talking a little bit earlier about this, you guys had mentioned that Oracle's release schedule on OEM 12c did not match up with yours as far as working on this book. So explain a little bit about what happened.
Right. Well, we were writing a book on 11G grid control when Oracle, in their wisdom, came out with 12c. So we were well into it, and it is a great excuse for why it took so long to write, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, we basically crossed out and rewrote from scratch, because 12c, as people know who've used the product, is completely different. The interface is different, the functionality is different. It's all expanded, essentially, and much better product, in my opinion.
And yet there were no abusive emails sent or anything like that?
Yeah, let's just say I wasn't the most popular guy of the three of us, and perhaps my colleague who isn't here was even less popular. But no, Ed kept us on track. Ed is pretty solid at writing books, and he churned it out, and we just try to keep up.
So none of that disrupted your merit?
No, not at all. And the thing you were mentioning about Mike and Matt and myself, well, we don't even see each other. We live in different cities. Mike's from New York, I'm from Houston, Matt's from Dallas. So we couldn't even wring each other's necks if we wanted to. But in going a little further, when we first started on, we were of course working with Release 1. By the time the book was almost done, Release 2 came out, and we did, as all book authors have to do, is we had to go back and fix some of the chapters because of that. You know, things change, and they always change for the good, or usually. So you try to do your best to keep up. Even that, Release 3 is already out, but fortunately, the bulk of the products has stayed relatively constant.
So what do you know now about OEM 12c that you didn't know when you started writing the book?
Until very, very much toward the end of the writing, I didn't actually realize, because frankly the documentation set wasn't explicit about it. It was buried in an appendix. Is that actually there is a management repository template, an EM template they call it, in Database Configuration Assistant, DBCA, that actually pre-installs and pre-configures the management repository, which is a great help in earlier releases, you needed to actually install a database using a custom template or whatever, and configure it yourself for parameters and for options and storage options and such. This is a great addendum to the Cloud Control product. It actually pre-installs the repository, and then when you do the install of the OMS with Cloud Control system, you're done essentially with the install. A little bit of configuration, and you have to install agents, but otherwise it's a very much expedited install process.
Ed, same question.
I'd like to make it a little more broad and say what I know about OEM 12C that I didn't know when I started is OEM 12C. As I guess a lot of people think that the book authors are like Oracle employees that actually develop the products. Well, we started out just like everybody else, learning this product. And one of the hard things that goes into writing a book is you have to make sure that everything you're going to take as an example or to talk about has to actually work. And often you spend a week of time getting a component working so that you can spend 2 or 3 days writing about it. And I started out knowing 11G grid control pretty well, but nothing about Cloud Control 12C.
Yeah, that would make for kind of a dull chapter. I tried it, but I couldn't get the damn thing to work.
That's happened in one of Mike's books. Don't try this at home; it doesn't work.
Yeah. It's good advice, right? Yes. If it doesn't work, you have to call it.
But I will say for OEM Cloud Control 12C, everything that I tried to do in there, eventually I got working.
It wasn't that hard.
It wasn't that hard, but there were a few things that the documentation was not completely clear about and really didn't describe that well. And you eventually have to learn it and figure it out.
Or buy a book and make your life easy.
Well, the Christmas gift-giving season is just weeks away. Hold the cover up again. Let people see that. This would look great in your stocking. So someone in your family needs Oracle Enterprise Manager Cloud Control 12C. So make sure that you visit your local bookstore and ask for this. Michael and Ed, thanks so much for spending time with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Bob Ruart for Oracle Technology Network. We'll be back with more video from Oracle Open World 2013. 1213, that's a few years off. 2013. Stay tuned.